If you're interested in an all-age community in the city of Port St. Lucie, this is a community I would definitely consider. Out west in Port St. Lucie is a community called Wylder. It is a master plan community. It is big and it's literally just getting started. So this community is less than a year old. It's a smaller community of a wider range. There's going to be a total of like 4,000 homes here. So you're looking at this community, Wylder itself, the bigger community, is going to be similar to the communities of Westlake. It's going to be similar to the community of Avenir and Palm Beach Gardens. This little section here where I am now is the only thing that's currently available, which is called Brystol. So if you hear Brystol at Wylder, this is where we're talking. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Realty. Welcome. We do a lot of relocations. We help people from all across the country move to this beautiful part of the world we call South Florida. Today we are a little bit north of Palm Beach in the city of Port St. Lucie. In recent years, we see a lot of people, recent months I should say, especially, we see a lot of people looking at Port St. Lucie. As the prices have gone up in recent years, they find that Port St. Lucie is more affordable. So this is a city where people are turning to. So speaking of Bristol alone, it's going to be 450 homes. They've actually sold quite a bit. They sold fairly quick because of the price point. There are two builders in the section of Bristol right now, which is Lennar, which is where I am now. This is one of the Lennar homes. And there's also Meritage. Two builders, I think, of similar caliber, I would like to say. Meritage, the homes are going to be slightly more money. I'm thinking something in the order of about $50,000 more. So Bristol is 450 homes. When all is said and done, they're going to be a total, there are always single-family homes here in Bristol. But when you look at the overall community of Wylder, it's going to be 3,400 single-family homes overall, and they are building some townhomes. They are not started yet. The other thing they're building is they're building a community called, it's a Four Seasons. For those familiar with Keovanian's 55-plus product, they have them in Delray. They have a few of them. They're building here. They're not even started yet. They're probably at least 6 months out. Keovanian is a nice builder, a good builder, and their 55 plus product is always named for what I've seen is Four Seasons. So Bristol here at Wylder is 450 homes, and they're sort of equally divided. They're half go to Meritage, half go to half are Lennar. So and to have sold to so we're probably about 9 months in to already be halfway sold out. That's quite an accomplishment. And one of the reasons is the price point. Driving up here, you sort of feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. But that's the way these things work in Florida. They build rather quickly, and I would suspect that this area is going to fill up rather quickly. That's how these master plan communities generally work. So if you're thinking about moving to this area and you want to ask questions of people who actually relocate to this area, and you want to speak to someone who sort of knows what they're talking about, well, there's a few ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number. But literally two of the best ways, in the description and the comment section, there's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is set up some time for us to speak, either through a phone call or through a Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating here to sunny South Florida. So here's a map of where we are right now, and I'm not sure how well you could see this, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. To the right, there's the Active Adult Center, which is the Keovanian Four Seasons I was talking about. In to the left there's the Bristol at Wylder. There's actually a whole nother section up above. They have two separate amenity centers, one of which, I'm going to walk there now, one of which they're building across the street from where I'm standing. There is, let me see if I can get it in real quick. There's going to be two amenity centers here in the Bristol. This second part of Bristol at Wylder hasn't even started yet, and that's where the second amenity center is. So it's all planned out, and this for now. And that's the way this builder handles things. They build a certain amount, and they manage the construction. And they're just going to focus on this. They don't open the whole community. They manage it and release it in home by home and lots by lots. The other thing you see here on this map is there's a little bit glare there. There's a future high school there that's coming. That's going to be part. So the developer, when the developer bought this whole piece of property, they made a deal with Port St. Lucie that the only way that they were allowed to develop this community was if they were in fact go ahead and gift part of the land back to donate to make and to build a high school. So that's going to be the high school. The K through 8, which is basically elementary through middle school, is currently in place. It's over near an adjacent community. It is an A-rated school. One of the drawbacks I hear from people sometimes is that, well, Port St. Lucie, the schools aren't as good. Well, it's really, I'd like to say, look at it this way. It is literally a case-by-case basis. In this particular area, in this particular section, in this particular development, they are working with A-rated schools. So this home here is called the Raleigh. It is their largest floor plan. It is 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. Which is a little bit small for the size of the home. It's 2,900 square feet under air, and the lots here are all pretty similar in size. They all go about 130 feet deep. So I'm going to use my little bit of my cheat sheet here to go over the pricing. This is actually the first time I've been to this community. We've been doing a lot more business here in Port St. Lucie. We had traditionally here, living in Palm Beach, Florida, we do a lot of business up here in this area in 55-plus communities. This is really the first all-age community I'm covering. Actually, no, let me strike that. I did do one a couple years back, but there aren't as many all-age communities that I've highlighted, because there aren't that many master plan all-age communities, this being one. So I'm using my notes here. So you are looking at about, from a size perspective, this is the largest, as I said. They start at about 1,450 to 1,450 square feet. Pricing. So this is what you probably want to know. Why do people coming up here? All in, you can buy a house like this for literally under $400,000 in the high threes, and it goes up to like the upper fives. So the builder for that man is Lennar. As I mentioned, there's also Meritage. The way these guys work is there's no to-be-builts, right? So you don't come in and pick all your stuff. Like, here's the kitchen. You don't say, want this kind of stove and this kind of microwave. Doesn't work that way. They pretty much build spec homes. And most of the homes they have here are literally about 3 or 4 months out. They just start building them. Once they sell it, then they release about 5 or 6 more. So there's what we call a production quick delivery builder. But the good news about it is you can get a nice home for the price. And that's why people buy here at a place like a Wylder. That's why people buy using like a Lennar as the builder, is you can get a good price on a home. And their incentives in terms of financing and pricing is very good. Yeah, in fact, looking at my notes, the longest dated home currently today, if you wanted to buy here in this community, is about 4 months. So I'm outside the house now, and I want you to get you in the look. The house looks nice from the outside, I'd say, right? Here's the specs of the home, to be exact. So this is I am told in this community, this is their best-selling home. It's the largest home. As we move down here, this is model row, right? They currently only have 4 models. They are building a 5th, and they have about 9 floor plans. What's interesting about this community is here's the Columbia. which is a 2,409 square feet under air. The models they use here are different than the models that they use in other communities. Like as an example, we do a lot of business living in Palm Beach in Arden, which is in Loxahatchee, Florida, and Palm Beach, Florida, and Lennar is there. Lennar and Geo Homes are two builders there currently. And in that community, the models they don't have like an Alexia, which is also a very popular model. I'll tell you that in a second. But they have different models here in Bristol at Wylder than they do in Arden and they do in other communities around South Florida. So this Alexia is 1,719. Here, take a look. 1,719 square feet under air. It's only 2-bedroom. You don't get a lot of that. But I'm told the builder's telling me that when it comes to this model in particular, it's they get a lot of the older crowd in this. Although this is an all age community, they will get a lot of 55 older type of crowd because it is a smaller home. And in general, when people are getting older and the kids are become empty nesters, they look to downsize. And this is apparently one of the homes that Lennar's had a lot of success in this community when it comes to that crowd. As you can tell, the floor plan is a little bit unique. It's really long. It reminds me, there was a plan in Westlake. You guys know I know the builders really well, and I know all the different communities. In Westlake, there's a community that just sold out called Sky Cove. One of the models there look exactly like this. It's a nice long model, but it's really it's narrow too at the same time. And you have your master bedroom right here. So that's one of the benefits about working with us as living in Palm Beach, Florida, is that we know the builders really well. If you go into, first off, don't walk into the sales center on your own. That's a mistake. In order for us living in Palm Beach, Florida to represent you, we need to be there on your first visit. That's the way it works. You can come back there afterwards on your own. That's fine. But we would love to represent you. It costs you nothing. There is zero cost out of your pocket when it comes to having us living in Palm Beach represent you. We will help you. If you go directly to the sales center, you are working directly with employees of the builder. And if there are existing homes for sale, they're not going to tell you. We will. We literally are unbiased from that standpoint because, whether you buy an existing home or a new construction home, it's all the same to us. And in fact, if this isn't the right community for you, and we feel like the Veranda Gardens or wherever else down the street is a better fit, we're going to tell you. We work with all the builders, and what's one of the best things that we do compared to our competition is we know what's going on in the different communities, and we can help guide you in that regard. So again, independent representation, we need to be there on your first visit. When you reach out to our team, give us some advance notice because that helps us to get on the calendar. We want to work with the right consultant also at each builder. And so don't sign up on their website because they'll assign you. But if you give us enough time, we will help make sure that we're working with the builder, with the consultant at the builder that'll fight hard for you when you're buying one of the biggest assets of your life. We've helped so many people relocate here to Florida, and we absolutely love it. So the other thing is that we will be there for the whole process. So if you're out of town and you want someone to maybe take pictures of the progress of your home, we can do that for you. We have a transaction coordinating team that helps keep the builders accountable. And we'll be there. We can look over the contract for you. We're not lawyers, but we've seen enough of these contracts to know what things we should point out to you. And also there you have the inspections, your drywall inspections. We'll help you there, and you will be there as an unbiased and someone in your corner when it comes to buying your new construction home here in Florida. So again, I want to reiterate the prices because that's one of the reasons why people come here. You can get a home in the 500s, and it is the top of the line here. If you're looking in Palm Beach County, you can, on the lower end and it's hard to find a $500,000 house there. So we're seeing a lot more people moving up this way. So in speaking to the builder, this is what they tell me. These are the kind of people that are coming here. People from down south, There's not as many people from the Northeast and other places as there are in other communities that do come here. There is some, of course. There always is a lot of people from other states, but they also get a lot of people from other parts of Florida coming here. So it's a lot more of a diverse people that live here in the Port St. Lucie area and the area here of Wylder in Port St. Lucie, Florida. All right, so I'm across the street from the clubhouse that they're making there. So this is one of the amenity centers there. There's going to be a resort pool area. There's going to be pickleball, which is all the rave here in South Florida. This is I'm told about 8-9 months away from being built, from being finished. And it sort of looks like that's going to be the case. The other thing that they mention is there's going to be dog park. So you people, your dog lovers, are going to make 2 separate parks, similar to what they do, like in Crestwind did it down in Palm Beach. They have a small dog park and a large dog park. That's pretty popular. I'm going to go here real quick. They have a little rendition of what it looks like. So here, take a look. That's your future if you live here at Bristol, at Wylder in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So there will be a total of 9 floor plans. I said there's going to be 5 models to show in person, but you have 9 floor plans in which you get to choose from. I'm going to walk. I don't like to walk into all of them. I want to give you a sense though as to what the product they deliver is about. So I'm going to walk into Columbia now, which is another 5-bedroom home, a little bit smaller than the first one we were in. This one, as you can see, is 2,400 and a little bit over 2,400 square feet. This one is like that other last model we were in. It's a little bit more of a longer feel and a longer feel and narrow, so to speak. So you can see there's not a lot of development here. See, this is preserved back here. So this is an area of Port St. Lucie West. So it's still a little bit undeveloped. In terms of getting to the beach, I get this question a lot. How far are we away from the beach? It's a little bit of a ride. Your closest beach here is going to be Jensen Beach, and it's about a half hour, about 30 minutes by car to get to Jensen Beach from here at the Wylder in Port St. Lucie. You're also about 15 minutes from Tradition. So there's like a Tradition Village. That's one of it's like there's no real downtown in Port St. Lucie. Like if you Google where is downtown Port St. Lucie, you're gonna find nothing. They have like a village, a Tradition Village. That's sort of the center of the town here, and you're about a 15-minute ride. But because this is such a new area and they are developing the roads like regularly, they're one of the ways back that way is they're developing a new road. When that all is said and done, it'll cut your drive time to Tradition Village to like less than 10 minutes. So one of the things I get questions of is, well, how close are the homes to apart? How far apart are they? Well, this is typical. The lots are somewhere between 40 to 50 feet wide. As I mentioned, they're all about 130 feet deep. But here's a typical, I'll zoom in on it. So depending on your model and your lot and so forth, you can expect all in from side to side to be about 40 to 50 feet. This one day, I'm walking down Model Row. This one day, when the community sells out, these decorated models will be for sale. In fact, I have some decorated models for sale right now. By the time you see this, they might be sold. But lots of times what the builder will sell these things decorated with all the upgrades in them and all that kind of stuff. One day, these will be for sale, just letting you know that. You can see it's still pretty undeveloped there. But one of the things that they're also in the process of developing, which is important, they're emulating some of the other communities in terms of the commercial use of space, like a town center. They already have, I'm told from the builder, that there's one entity been sort of named so far, and that's Publix. That always seems to be the first entity named in most of these master plan communities, because Publix is one of our supermarkets down here, and it's one of the probably the most popular one. So that's already there. And then so you have one town center here, and you got a smaller one to the south. But the idea is that you can literally just take your golf cart and take it right down to the town center. And that's sort of like the trend when it comes to South Florida. That is what the structure, that's what they're building. That's what life is like here if you move to South Florida. I got to say this as well. So one of the things that they do to protect like investors from coming into these areas, they will sell to investors, the builders, or they do. Lennar, I know, has done it. But one of the parameters they put in place, look at your HOA documents. That's really important, actually. That's another thing that we can help you with, is to look over those HOA documents. Here at Bristol, at Wylder, you have a minimum of a 9-month lease. And the reason for that is to avoid people coming in here, investors coming here, buying everything out, and then renting them out. Because that's one of the things you should look for. If you're relocating and looking at Miami as an example, they are much more lenient when it comes to regulations on rental restrictions. So you find a lot more Airbnbs down there. So one of the benefits, I think, to Palm Beach and to St. Lucie County, where we are now, is they are much more they're much more strict on their rental policies. Thus, you don't have a frat house right next to you, or a short-term rental where people used to vacation literally right next door to where you live. I think that this is one of the opportunities to get in on the ground floor. You cannot get, the sweet spot for this community is 400 and 500,000. You can get that in Palm Beach. I do see, because of that price point, this creating a lot of value, and I'd be surprised if it stays at these prices for long. And if you buy here now, you'll be getting in literally on the ground floor. Once that amenity center finishes, prices, that's what the builders generally do. They do raise prices. So if you want to learn a little bit more about what's going on here at Wylder, if you want to know what's going on at Bristol, which is their first community in Wylder, reach out. We'd love to help you. Wylder, Bristol at Wylder, Port St. Lucie, paradise here in South Florida.